Right, let's make a start of adding some flowers to make this look a little bit like something pretty, shall we? Now we're going to make our flowers into the stems where we made the rings at the end. If you can remember, we made those little rings at the end and they look just like a starting ring on sort of any of the other motifs that we've made, really. But we just need to be a little bit careful where we start, because what we're going to do exactly the same as we do when we start with the ring. We're going to fill this ring up with some stitches, but we do need to start in the correct position so that it is, we sort of start and finish where we need to be, if that makes sense. So I've got my stems here and I'm going to make sure that the stem that I'm working into with the ring at the top sits below at the sort of 6 o'clock position. Okay, I'm going to put my hook through that ring that we've made, and I'm using cranberry. Obviously you use whatever you like, but cranberry is what we're using with the original colorway. I'm going to pull up a loop and secure with a chain. That does not count as a stitch, that is just securing the yarn in place at the 12 o'clock position. Okay, and I'm going to make 6 double crochet into this ring, sort of working around it. And we are working in UK terminology. 5 and 6. Now 6 brings me up to the stem. Okay, and I can't sort of physically go behind the stem. So what I need to do is kind of skip behind that stem, and I'm moving my work around again, and put 6 double crochet in the other side, if that makes sense. It will make sense when you're working it. You just literally can't put your hook magically through the stem. So 6 one side, 6 the other. Okay. So again, let's put it as it needs to sit. Okay, so you can see, that's my starting end. I'll get that out of the way in a minute. You can see my stem is coming down at the 6 o'clock position. I've made 6 double crochet to the left of the stem as I look at it, and 6 to the right of the stem as I look at it, and I'm now going to close with a slip stitch. Okay, into the very first stitch that we've made. All right, and that's round 1. And now we have the center of our flower. Isn't that cute? That's lovely, isn't it? So for round 2, nice and easy, 1 chain doesn't count as a stitch. We're going to put a double crochet into the stitch that's at the base of the chain where we've just come out. So there's 1 double crochet in there, 2 chain, skip the next double and go into the one after, make a double, 2 chain, skip the next one, and that's what we're going to do all the way around. Okay, and then when I get to the beginning, I'm going to slip stitch into the first double crochet to join the round. I'll snip that. I'll have a look at what that looks like. Okay, obviously, oh, it's so curly, isn't it? Obviously, I need to sew in my ends, but we do have ourselves the center of a rose there. So I'm going to sew in these ends and we'll move on to round 3. Right, we're going to work round 3 now, and the round 3 creates this part of the rose. Okay, so that might help you choose which colour you're going to use. I'm using blush because I'm working this exact colourway. And it's another nice simple round. And what we're going to do is we're going to be working into the chain spaces that we made on the previous round here. And we're going to fill those up with trebles. And again, just a reminder, this is UK terminology. So our US followers will be looking at these. These will be doubles to them, but UK terminology, these are trebles. So this time, my starting chain will count as a stitch. So I'm going to make 1, 2, and 3 chain. And that is a stitch. And I'm going to put 4 trebles into the same space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And So with those starting chain, that's basically 5 trebles into that chain space. I'm going to make 1 chain to hop around to the next chain space, and that's what I'm going to do all the way around. Just fill up those chain spaces with 5 trebles. Okay, this is the last space. So there's 5 into that space and 1 chain, and then I will slip stitch to the top of the 3 chain to join those together. Okay. Pull that through to see what these look like together. There we go. So our flower, oh, these poor little twisted things. Our flower is now starting to grow. We've got some petals coming through now. Okay, so that was round 3. Let's move on.